And my name is 𝐁𝐄𝐂 𝐏𝐑𝐄𝐒. I'm the Corporate Communications Manager of Botswana Examinations Council. I'm going to be introducing the executive team of Botswana Examinations Council, and thereafter the ladies and gentlemen of the media will introduce themselves so that we can capture your name properly. I'm just going to start by introducing the Chief Executive Officer of Botswana Examinations Council, Dr. 𝐁𝐄𝐂 𝐏𝐑𝐄𝐒, who is not new to the position. He's been the CEO of Botswana Examinations Council since August 1, 2021. So he is the host of today's press conference. You are allowed to ask as many questions as you may, but we are going to just say we should observe the COVID protocols so that we are not here forever. But Dr. 𝐏𝐿𝐿 is still going to be talking to you more even after this press conference. Here I have Director of Product Development and Standards, Mrs. Baruni. You all know her, you are always with her here. I have Director of Corporate Services, 𝐁𝐄𝐂. I've got Acting Director, EAC, Anna Luanika. I've got the Board Secretary and the Legal Services Manager, Mr. Professor Tapelo. I've got the ICT Director, Mr. Roshio Balusiti. I've got my winning team of Corporate Communications of Botswana Examinations Council. I've got Mr. Utile Tapsen, the second Tuluki. I've got 𝐁𝐄𝐂. I've got Mrs. Garabo Sehoje. That's the winning team. Thank you very much. We are not going to be long, but I'm going to be allowing you to introduce yourselves first, so that when we talk to you, when Dr. 𝐁𝐄𝐂 𝐏𝐑𝐄𝐒 talks to you, knows who we are and where we're from. We'll introduce ourselves by name and by our media houses. I want to thank you very much. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to start with you. You came first.
𝐁𝐄𝐂 𝐏𝐑𝐄𝐒 from the Yagas Online.
Everybody will comment from the news.
Good morning. My name is Naomi 𝐁𝐄𝐂.
Good morning. My name is 𝐁𝐄𝐂 𝐏𝐑𝐄𝐒 from YTV.
Good morning. My name is 𝐁𝐄𝐂 𝐏𝐑𝐄𝐒.
Can I now move to VTV?
Education and Broadcasting.
Thank you very much. We are now going to start what we are here for. CEO, Dr. 𝐁𝐿𝐿 will start briefing us now. Over to you, CEO.
Thank you, 𝐁𝐿𝐿. Once again, good morning, media chiefs and media houses here present. And let me also observe that others are attending this virtually from external venues, and I also greet them and also welcome them to this media briefing. And before I get to the subject of the day, let me just allude to the fact that this classage, there's this resurgence of COVID-19. Omicron is proving to be a very forceful virus, or a forceful variant. So let's observe COVID-19 protocols. And again, reduce the time is spent gathered here. So that we don't overshoot 2 hours. But even 1 hour, we should be done here. Yes, we've called you, our friends of the media, to come and brief you or give you a briefing and an update about what transpired during this year examinations, or what took place, what happened, how it all went. So the purpose of this gathering is really to update stakeholders. We know that we are going to take this to our stakeholders out there on the 2021 examinations, so that we know that the public has several questions of how did the examinations go, when are they going to come out. We know that we are going to distribute the information to our stakeholders. So this is meant to answer such questions that anyone may have. We also will share you our readiness for the release of the results once all processes that are involved have been completed. We also want to ensure that all stakeholders are aware of the challenges that come with the administration of examination, especially when examinations take place in the COVID-19 context. We will share you such challenges and also update the public again about the risks posed by the pandemic. And there are always developments, new developments that we would wish to share with you, but for now we'll discuss mainly 2021 examinations and give you estimates or tentative dates of release of examination, this year's examinations. Now here are figures that I'm going to give you about our candidature. You know that BEC conducts 3 examinations, at least at present. We've in other forums informed you that going forward, maybe the next year or the next 2 years, we will start also conducting examinations at TVET level, which is level 5 of the 𝐁𝐄𝐂. But for now, we are still stuck with 3 examinations level, which are PSLE, JCE, and BGCSE. But that is the primary school, the junior certificate, and the senior school examinations. And here are the numbers of people or candidates who registered. Note that I'm saying candidates who registered because at the moment we still are not privy to how many actually wrote the examinations. But those who registered at PSLE total is 46,984. At JCE is 46,311. At BGCSE is 37,657. And all these numbers have increased. Imagine increasing numbers of candidates sitting for examinations. At the same time, we having to reduce population and spaces. That is one of the challenges that we experienced during the year, because we have to social distance, space out people in the rooms, but here's our candidature increasing. When we talk of the total candidature, we had a total of 130,952 for 2021 against a total of 126,564 in 2020. So that is about 3,500 increase. Now, I'll highlight to you about the writing of examinations, what transpired during the sitting of examinations. Remember that this year, particularly during the winter months, we had long closure of schools for about 2 months. Christmas in about 2 months during Christmas break, but that July break was just too long, and it ate away a lot of contact time teacher. And because of that, our parent ministry, Ministry of Basic Education, had to elongate the school calendar, meaning that this year, at least this December, this third term, schools were closed about 2 to 3 weeks later than they would have been closed than normal. And therefore that affected our examinations timetable as well. We had to factor that in. That was meant to make sure that candidates at least complete syllabuses at school level. Even us as examiners, as an examination body, we want to test or examine candidates when we are sure that they have covered enough material to be examined. So we had to shift our examination schedule as well. And the days I'm going to state here will show you that they are rather new days or normal days, because for PSLE request it starts immediately after independence. But this year it started on the 20th of October and stretched to the 27th of October. In a normal year, we would have started maybe the 1st, or rather the 2nd, 3rd, or 4th of October. JCE this year started on the 23rd of September and ended on the 19th of September. No, November. JCE started on the 23rd of September. This examination is similar to practical. Normally it starts in August. Some practical examinations. But this year you see that it started on the 23rd, almost a week before Independence holiday. And it stretched to the 19th November 2021. DGCSE started on the 6th of October 2021 and stretched to the 24th of November 2021. And there's that shift in a key where it was meant to cater or to allow our candidates or completing students to at least cover the syllabus for this year. And I'm happy to report that marking for PSLE, as we speak today, was completed on the 28th of November 2021. The teachers gathered at Rainbow and marked, and they completed. We are currently processing the PSLE results, doing the grading and other processes that are involved. That is why we'll brief you about the tentative release dates at the end. JCE also, we have started marking. It's being marked as we speak. It started on the 9th December. 9th that was the beginning of last week. It's going to stretch to a day before Christmas, to the 24th of December. The same with BGCSE. It started on the 9th and it's going to end on the 24th of December. We've done what we could to catch up with time. It's always the case that BGCSE and JCE usually they end just before Christmas, and we can see that now, even though we started late, but we are slowly catching up with our usual schedule. The council has changed the way we've been doing business because of COVID-19 pandemic. We had to increase marking venues. Usually we use I think 2 to 3 marking venues for both JCE and BGCSE, and this year we are using 4, but we have a spare one just in case. Just in case our numbers, we feel that our people are crowded, we can have off some to the 5th venue. But so far, the 4 venues are handling the situation because we had to ask for more rooms in each of the schools. You will remember that the 2020 marking exercise was scattered all over the country. We used places like there was marking in Palate, there was marking in Franciscan, there was marking in Kanye. And that really stretched our resources. We did that because you also recall that in 2020 there were restrictions. We could not easily crisscross the country, so we had to scatter marking across the country. But this year is all in and around Gaborone, but still the same COVID protocols are being observed. So while marking of PSLE took place at 𝐿𝐷𝐄𝐒 College of Applied Arts and Rainbow School, JCE is being marked at St. Joseph's College and Naledi Senior Secondary School. So those two venues are handling JCE, and BGCSE is at Mogodisani Senior Secondary School and Philip Moshotle Primary School. Note that we are all, for all this marking exercise, we are using government facilities. That also goes to show that we are strained for resources. We don't have as an exam body, there's not enough financial resources to do marking in private venues because they will need for us to pay. So we use public schools and also participate in shaping them up, maintaining some of the buildings as we use such for marking. Before we start examinations, before marking, it is common that from year to year we do training. But again, because of the COVID-19 pandemic and also supporting our government objective of digitization, we must acknowledge that or accept that COVID-19 forced us to do certain things differently. And that also our government, our leadership came up with the research agenda, within which digitization was one of the key objectives. So we also joined the bandwagon of digitizing our processes. That is why we are reporting today that the training of examiners this year, training of invigilators, these people, they don't just go into the room to invigilate, they don't just administer examinations from year to year. They get trained every year to observe given assessment standards or given examination standards, because there are standards to follow. So we train them using virtual methods. We train virtually, which also shows that probably our examiners out there, especially those in public schools, have access to digital devices. So we are able to train digitally. We are able also to prepare materials at this site in-house, digital materials in-house, and we are able to distribute it virtually to our examination centers or to the schools, whom I must report that really appreciated the content, especially that where questions remained, they could always replay the lesson, because it was all recorded digitally in videos, and everything was sent virtual. So they saved all the material, all the content, and they could always replay it. And this helped us in that we did not get too many questions as it is usual with when we train them physically. Usually they gather at one place, we train them, we train the examiners, and then they go. When they get to the schools, sometimes they've forgotten some of the things, and they will keep asking. But this time you notice that because they could always replay the material, there were lesser questions this year. Now let me tell you about the processing of examinations. Starting with registration, still loading on the issue of digitization. We know that we have the famous Malepa system, and over time it has been growing, it's been maturing. We've been also developing it and growing it as we wished. So you find that even registration I think for the past 2-3 years, it's done online. Bogologolo ne batla ba batla go register hana kana re banyala dipampiri ba register ko. These days we just deploy, you give them access from their schools and they just register online. So we did that online. And talking about processing right now, the marking is taking place outside the systems, but immediately after that, the processing will come back to be digital, and even through the screening processes that we do. And all the examinations results are processed through Malepa, and this was since 2014. But as I say, it has been developed, it has been matured, it has now matured and stabilized as you speak. Every year we are sure that it will process effectively. And the advantages attached to that, to using a digital system or a system like Malepa, that accuracy in registration and examinations processing is achieved. We have improved controls now because we are using a system that is programmed. Improved controls and accountability. We also have improved data flow between centers and BEC. Register only to find that there are errors and mistakes within that. And then there's an efficient production of results, and then even production of complex report, we achieve it easily now using this system. Now, we also release results through digital media, different media such as SMS technologies. We release results with SMS. We just direct them to the candidates themselves through SMS, through Facebook page, through Twitter, through websites and electronic media, being radio and sometimes even print media. And I think it is at this juncture that I can now tell you about tentative dates of release that we expect. But I'll just give you a week within which we expect to release the results, because Harisa and Neshok are the exact date and time. PSLE, we expect to release it by the week ending 24th December 2021. That is next week. We expect to have released by end of next week. Another like Christmas, it's not as usual, so it has delayed a bit, but at least that the delay was meant to capture or cater for the delay in the or the extension of the school timetable. JCE, we expect to release by the 30th, the week ending the 30th of January. It's like a week, end of the week and the beginning, but by the 30th of January we will have released JCE. Note that last year we released JCE, I think in February, because the extension of the school calendar also happened in 2020. But as I said earlier, we are trying by all means to catch up or to bring back some of these processes to normal timelines. So as it happens, it has been happening through the years before COVID. JCE will be released in January. We are back to, it may not be exactly the same time as we used to, but now we are back in the month of January. BGCSE, by the 18th of February, we will have released BGCSE. Last year we had released it by first week of March, but we have worked around our processes so much that this year we have reduced this time lag now down to the 18th of February. And this again normalizes things because it is normally GGCSE is released in February. So we are back in the month of February for the release of BGCSE. And media friends and media houses, that is the story I was holding for you today. At least what I know you are getting away here are the tentative release dates, and you know how the health of the system, especially during the writing and processing of examinations. So I'll stop this far. Thank you, Mama Kalimela, for giving me the opportunity. And thank you, my audience, for listening to my story.
Thank you very much, CEO. I'm going to allow questions. We've got the very experienced people in this field. They will be answering with Dr. Tabeta any other questions that we are going to be directing to him. I thank you very much.
You got Jameson, my team. My question is regarding, in the past we used to see a trend in the body, our time about the exam, the similar might be. There's a conflict between DEC and trade unions. Like this year, the one about who did you? Have you resolved the long impending dispute between you and unions? Thanks.
Next question. Yeah. Why?
Mine is on statistics. Statistics but I'm interested in knowing. We have seen because there's an increase more than ever scribed more for when we talk about how many learners scribed. Then we have another special education for how many learners that are holding
Let me allow the executive to answer those ones. I will take another set of questions.
Thank you. I will respond to the first one, Jimson. The next two, Banova isolating and the increase of scribes, I will hand them over to my lieutenants this side to respond. Yes, I'm glad you observed that this year, you observed that this year is quite calm. And we are really happy it is that way. We want it to be that way forever. I think really the conflict that was there was because as media you could hear us talking, but really there was no conflict. We have to sit and talk. We have very cordial relationship with teacher unions. So we talked and understood each other. And that is why there's no mudumo, there's no noise this year. But you know that earlier in the year, like September, October, we were having talks again about coursework, ending of coursework. And we did talk it out, discussed it, and agreed on how we are going to go about it. And that is the reason why, again, there's no noise. And this is this is what we want. We want it to go on that way. We are not saying we are not going to stop talking to them since we have agreed on certain things. We'll keep talking to our unionized personnel, keep talking to them. We keep, where we agree, we'll keep agreeing. And where there are differences, we'll keep resolving such differences. Thank you. Yeah, isolation. Malwani, exam administration question.
Thank you. Thank you, CEO. Regarding candidates who test positive during examinations, what we have done is that we have developed guidelines that were shared with centers, as we do not expect any candidate to miss examinations due to them testing positive. So usually they are expected to write, of course adhering to the COVID-19 protocols, and the centers would liaise with the DHMT to ensure that the risk is minimized. Thank you. Should I go on to
Yeah, go on to
Yes, yes.
go on, yes. Go ahead.
Regarding an increase with regard to learners who require scribes or candidates who require scribes, you wanted to know the numbers. I would only give out numbers for PSLE because, like the CEO has said, it is almost at completion stage in terms of processing. Indeed, we have been seeing an increase in number, and this year we have had 626 candidates being scribed for at PSLE. Usually these are learners with multiple learning disabilities, and most of them have challenges with expressing themselves, and therefore it would be better, or when they are assessed at school level, it's found that they are able to do well when they have a scribe during examination time. However, the practice should have been there, or it should have been part of their learner as they are taught at classroom, as they are taught during teaching and learning. That is, they should be familiar with the arrangement. It should be their way of learning. We should not see this only introduced during examination period. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yeah. The other one in a statistics. Malonika has touched on
I
that.
think he wanted to know more about scribing.
Okay. We have guidelines regarding what happens during conduct of exam, where candidates have to be scribed for. Usually the center appoints someone who is familiar to the candidate, who the candidate has been exposed to, and what happens is that the candidate would read. In this case, it is the candidate who is able to read, because most of them, you find that alongside a scribe, they would use a reader. So if it's a reader, the person that is appointed would read the question to the candidate, and then the candidate would respond orally, and the response would then be put down on paper. That is, the scribe then writes for the candidate. And usually what happens is that any candidate who is scribed for, there would be recording, so that the recording will then be matched with the script that is written by the scribe. And when it gets to be EC, we have to match that to make sure that what the candidate said is what is on the it's what is written on the script. So it goes alongside with the candidate responding orally, and then the response being recorded. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I think that answers your question. Any other questions?
Statistics under special education, or how many learners that are in that especially when they are KCD, or no matter what they are later, the issues are under special education, then you need to do one of the solving the project and can become a hacker when it comes to special education.
le utlwile sentle. Sorry, e siame ke. E siame. Ke ra go heditse. Malone.
Thank you once again. With regard to PSLE, this year we received a total of 1,179 candidates or applications regarding candidates with special needs. In past years, the main challenge that we've had has been mostly the provision of supporting evidence, because as part of inclusion and trying to be fair, it is important that when centers apply for access arrangements, they have to produce evidence that the candidate has been assessed and indeed they have a specific learning disability or any special needs type that exists. And therefore, we have seen a challenge with regard to the provision of supporting evidence. Candidates are assessed late by centers, and then most of the time, application deadlines are not met. But we are pleased to say that this year we have seen a notable increase with regard to provision of supporting evidence compared to 2020. This could be attributed to the fact that there has been training, like the CEO has said. We do train centers. We do put information out there. We have information on special needs on the BEC website. And as and when there's change in information, we do inform the center. So we are seeing a slight improvement, but we are seeing it is still a challenge. That is the provision of supporting evidence. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Madawanika. Do you want to ask that one?
Oh, okay.
Yes.
There's an online question. It's from the Agas Online. BGCSE, what will be the scale of measurement? Last year, suddenly there was a shift of goalposts from 5 credits to 6 credits. Why the change? Says, results earlier so that recommend uniform before a jama jama tail. Thank you.
That's a nice word.
It's
Scale of measurement. It's our right to GCSE. The aggregation that we always want to use. The way the appropriate person to respond.
Thank you, CEO. Thank you, Media House, for the question. Let me start by saying BGCSE is a subject-based examination. In other words, candidates are awarded grades at syllabus level. The question of aggregation is just for us to interpret the results, but it's not a measure. The measure is at syllabus level. So we can group or aggregate syllabuses as we wish. We may say 6 Cs or better, 5 Cs or better, 2 Cs or better, whatever. All that we are doing is trying to understand the results that we have issued to individual candidates. But there is no candidate who gets his results saying, you have got 6 Cs or better. But what the candidate receives is the grades for all the syllabuses that they have set for. Even when they go out and use those results, nobody will say, what is your classification? No. They will say, what are your BGCSE grades? And then it is up to the user to say, okay, for what you want to do with me, I need grades like this in this particular subject or that particular subject. So this aggregate thing of 5 Cs or better, 6 Cs or better, as I said, is just for us as a nation to understand what population is. If you're familiar as a population. But ga gona ngwana o go think results tsa gago o tshwere 5 C's or better. So I want to stress again what it is not a measure, it is just a way of interpreting the results. And maybe if I go in further to say, what is the interest in saying 6 C's or better, for instance, or even 5 C's or better historically? We have observed as the BEC, the users of these results, most of the time when these children come to them, in particular, where they my cut-off point. That is what we are trying to say is there. You see, we are trying to make the TEF understand these results easier than when they will be saying, hey, cut off your like 6 C's or better, these 6 C's. But then maybe we are thinking of Banavakari. But in terms of one, we will not have said results as they are. I think I will stop this far about this one, and I'm very happy that it came this time before we released the BGCSE, because it was such a row last year, and we were just, ooh, what have we changed? Thank you, CEO, thank you, and thank you for the question.
Thank you very much. You see, it was very useful. At least the listener at home heard what Madam had to say about it. Any other question?
So that very uniform. Yes, as compared to last year, we have really reduced the time release. From last year, we extended it to March. This year, mid-February, we results to that is our estimation. JCE, we release in January. So around the uniform so it's a valid question. But it is very valid.
Thank you very much, CEO. Any other? Let's be free to ask so that when we leave here, we leave with answers. Oh, thank you very much. The gentleman of the media will share with you some few things. The start of last year, during COVID-19, BGCSE top achievers was last year, and he is also going to share with you the brief that the CEO gave this morning. So to thank the gentlemen and ladies and gentlemen of the media and the BEC team here present for us. Over to you, Gaborone.
Thank you, Mama Khalimela. Let me take this opportunity, as you've given it to me, to thank all those who are here present today. Ladies and gentlemen, I wish to say that this is just the beginning, because you normally see us at the time of results release. But what we are trying to get to here is that, as you note, we released PSLE last year on the 16th of December 2020. As we are here today is the 16th August. Okay. So as an examination body, we have a duty, we have a responsibility to get back to our stakeholders. Whenever we see ourselves in a situation whereby we are going to have to release the results later than we did last year, we do need to manage our stakeholders and let them know what is happening and let them know when we are the tentative release date of the results. It's a duty for every examination board, because the mere fact that we released on the 16th last year, what are you thinking? You are hoping we'll release by the 16th again this year. So if it is not going to be the case, we are duty bound to get back to our stakeholders and let them know what is happening and why. And our CEO has duly explained why we were unable to release to the date that we released last year. And that was really the sole purpose of this briefing today. And once more, let me thank you for the kind of questions that you've brought. I realize that some of these questions, when we are at the point of releasing results, they just get pushed underneath the carpet because everybody is interested in the figures or the stats for the results. So let me thank you very much and say, for us as the BEC, we've learned a lot that this kind of engagement is very necessary, as we have collected a lot of information from you, ladies and gentlemen of the media. With those few remarks, thank you once more.
Thank you so much, and thank you very much, colleagues. When I say colleagues, I'm talking about the ladies and gentlemen of the media for gracing this appeal day under difficult circumstances that we're going through. My wonderful team has something for you to carry home because we cannot sit here and eat together. So you will have something to bite as you are out of here.